All right. Hey guys, let me know if you can hear me, and let me know if you can see the guitar over here. I'm just getting the link into our members area here real quick, and then we will be good to go. All right, so if you're just joining us right now, we are going to be covering some worship guitar skills techniques. I'm going to show you some cool ways to play some cool lead guitar stuff using chord shapes. So if you can hear me and see me, say hi in the comments, and then tell me where in the world you're watching from while I'm just getting my bearings set up here on the computer. All right, check 1 2, check 1 2. Looks like we are live on Facebook. Let me check us on YouTube. I think we're live on YouTube, and we'll be live in our members platform as well. Let me just flip this camera. All right, so that should look a little bit better right now. And we'll do one more sound check, and then we'll be off to the races. All right, looks like we are all systems go over here. All right, fantastic. Well, welcome to another live stream. It's been a while since I've done one of these. We're doing all of this stuff from home now, thanks to the whole pandemic situation. And it's quite a challenge to get everything up and running with everything else that's going on at the house here. But we are back up and running, and everything is 100%. All right, fantastic. Well, I'm going to open up the questions that our members sent in, and then if you guys have any other questions, feel free to throw them into the comments section. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm open on all the platforms so that I can make sure I can catch all the comments. All right, cool. So Raymond says hi. Richard's from Ireland. Armand is watching from down the road in J-Bay here. Those of you that don't know, Armand and Kenan and Fricky and Bob, they make up our production team. So super cool guys, very skilled in what they do, from video production to playing guitar to leading worship to sound engineering. And you guys probably hear my kids in the background there. So hopefully I don't have to go and intervene there. All right, fantastic. So let me grab the questions here. And Daniel Olario saying hi on Facebook. Hey Daniel, great to see you. All right guys, so let's have a look. All right, so we got a couple of comments here. I just got to find the right time there. Okay, fantastic. So we've got Pierre Samuel saying, hi Charl, when we use chord tones, whether it be in a rhythmic solo or in a lead guitar or anywhere else, I find it difficult to remember or find the 3 chord tones per chords when playing a progression, specifically when I have to do it live without having the time to write it all down, the 3 chord tones. What do you suggest? Do I have to learn them all by heart, or are there any tips and tricks to mentally speed up this process other than writing it down? Thanks and kind regards. Yeah, Pierre, you've got a great question there. So just for those viewers not quite 100% clear on what Pierre is asking, is basically when you are playing solos, right? Or anything on the guitar for that matter, you are going to chords are made up of different tones. So let me go to the guitar here just to show you real quick. Okay, and I can maybe put myself in. Okay, that's too big. Let's see if that can be a bit smaller. Alright, cool. So we want to go picture in picture here, and then I'll give you guys the lowdown of the situation there. Okay, cool. So what Pierre is referring to here is chord tones, right? So most of the time when you look at a worship chart, it might show you E, B, C sharp minor, A. Alright, that's a 1, 5, 6, 4 chord progression. And most people just see 4 chords really. They see E, they see B, they see C sharp minor, and they see A, right? But what's actually happening, an E chord has 3 different types of notes, right? Those individual notes make up the chord of E, and that happens to be E, G sharp, and B. And the same for B, for C sharp minor, for A. So what that refers to is basically, it's called triads. So any chord at any time, unless you play sevenths or like fancier chord voicings, will typically have 3 notes in the chord. Those are known as triads. So what Pierre is referring to here is like when you play a solo, or even playing fills or whatever the case may be, and I can demonstrate that for you guys, the band, they will be playing a progression. And in this case, it's E, B, C sharp minor, A. So what most guitar players do is they might just take a scale and kind of play up and down without paying attention to the chords. And they play one scale over 4 chords. Okay? The smarter thing to do would be to actually play those chord tones over the chords, because then it sounds like it fits. Okay, so let me give you a quick demonstration of the wrong way to do it and then a better way to do that. And then afterwards, Pierre, I'm going to give you a cool trick that you can use to visually use chord shapes, but to basically show you how to play those chord tones. So let me see if you got sound here on this track. Let me know if you can hear the backing track in the mix over here. Guys can hear the backing track there, because if you can hear the backing track, Armand says you can hear the track, and that means we are good to go then. All right, cool. So now I'm going to show you 2 ways. I'm going to show you the wrong way and then the right way. First of all is the wrong way. That is like, let's just say, and let's get it to where there's a bit of a vibe going there. Let's say you have to play a lead, a solo, whatever, right? And you know the song is in the key of E, and then therefore you might just use the C sharp minor pentatonic. Here's the wrong way to do it. Okay. That's the wrong way to do it, alright? There was a few nice moments, but for the most part, I ignored what the chords were doing and I just played my own thing. The right way to do it would be this. Alright, so we've got E, C sharp minor, we've got B, and we've got A. again, I always joke, that's not going to win any Grammys, but at least I followed the chords there. So Pierre is just tuning in here from Switzerland. Hey Pierre, I hope you appreciate the more European friendly time than we normally do this. And Shane is saying, can I teach you how to do a delay like I'm doing here? Yeah, definitely Shane, I will do a feature on the delay coming up. And there we go. So Daniel's saying, how can you find easier the notes of the solo? Just by hearing it or knowing the key. All right, cool guys. So I've given you a bit of a demonstration of like just choosing a scale and then kind of going for it, right? Which is not really the right way to do it. So to answer your question, Pierre, and also Daniel, so let's have a look here. Cool. So, hey Aaron from California, hope you guys are safe there with all the fires. Awesome to see you guys here today. So, you have two choices. Either you just know what those chord tones are, or you can be a bit smart about that, right? Shane is saying hi from the Philippines. So it must be like 9:30 or something like that where you're at. So welcome. I can look at chord shapes like this for E, for C sharp, for B, for A. So I can just take those chord shapes. I mean, you can do any types of chord shape. We're just starting with these. I like them. They're called open triads. And see where they come from. It's like an E shape, an E chord with an A shape rather, a C sharp minor chord, a B chord, and an A chord. But playing all those notes, not so cool, so I'm going to leave out the G string, and then I've got... Okay, those are the chord tones. So Pierre, what you can do is instead of actually trying to remember the chord tones, just remember the chord shapes, because you know what they look like. This is an E, C sharp minor, B, A. Okay, and now I can do something like this using the chord tones. Here we go. So I can go. So just very roughly showing you what I can do by just using the chord shapes. So what you want to do to answer your question specifically, Pierre and Daniel, this is also going to help you, is basically know what the chords are and then find the chord shapes. I can also use what I teach my members at the Virtual Guitar Skills Academy, is like the two-note voicing. So I can have E, B. Actually, I should have had C sharp after that, right? So E, C sharp, B, A. So just, I can know that those are my chord tones. This is it for E, for C sharp minor, for B, for A. Now, obviously, just the chord tones in and of themselves, they're not quite going to give you tension. So you want to add other notes that will work, and those you get from the scale. So let me demonstrate this again for you guys. All right, and then Armand, if you can still hear me, feel free to let me know what the levels are like in Slack, and then I can have a look at this over there. Okay, cool. So now I'm just going to use those shapes that I've just shown you. what did I do there? Obviously, I went off the script a little bit, but because I knew my chord shapes, I know when when we were playing E, I can go, then I can go the same thing for the C sharp, and then I know where those chord tones are. So that really is the trick, Pierre and Daniel, is just know what your chord tones are by using shapes, because we all know the shapes, right? If you have to play rhythm, you might play those shapes are made up of individual notes, especially if you're playing on the higher strings, right? Then what you can do there is just that will tell you what those chord tones are. So that is the quickest way to get to that. Obviously, the fancier way, or a better way, if I might say, is to learn arpeggio shapes, because then an arpeggio is just that. Okay, cool. If you guys email me at charl@worshipguitarskills.com, I will send you those arpeggio shapes. And basically, let me put that email up there if you guys want to grab that. Let's see. Okay, cool. Text. Let me add this in for us, and then you guys can just email me and I'll send you a copy of those arpeggios. Because really what you want to do, and let me talk about this for a second. Okay, there we go. I'll put that up there on the screen for a little bit. Then you can just email me, I'll send you those arpeggio shapes. But what you want to do when you're playing music, all right, and especially worship, you want to be present. You want to have spare mental bandwidth and mental capacity, so that you can focus on being creative and kind of responding to the other musicians. You don't want to be so like thinking what's that chord tone again, because whenever you have to think what something is, it's too late already, right? It needs to happen automatically. So that's where those shapes come in very handy. If you learn the shapes, it's muscle memory. So now your hands remember where the notes are, and your mind doesn't need to know it. Because when I play, I don't really think, all right, I'm going to now play the G sharp over an E chord, which is the third. No, I'm shape based, because I use the shapes for my muscle memory to tell me where the notes are. Then I use my ears to tell me, okay, cool, well, let's go to a third, let's go to a root, let's go to a fifth. You can actually bypass your brain. How cool is that, right? And when I mean your brain, it's like thinking, what is the third of E? That's C sharp. Because those are the three areas that you use to play guitar. So your physical technique, which I prefer muscle memory there to kind of remember what I want to do. Then it's my mind actually knowing that the E is the one chord, the B is the 5 chord, etc. And then I have my ear that can actually say, okay, cool, well, let's go here, let's go there, let's go here, let's go there. Imagine a painter. They're not going to think, okay, cool, I'm now going to draw a perfect circle and then I'm going to draw this shape or that. No. They just paint, right? They'll just being creative. So Pia, hopefully that answers your question, and Daniel, hopefully that helped you out as well. Go and learn the shapes, and then get good with that, because then your ear can start to guide you. Think of conversation, right? If you have a really meaningful, in-depth conversation with somebody, they're going to kind of they're going to talk about stuff that you didn't know. They're going to respond intelligently to what you told them. There's going to be empathy. They're going to let you talk. There's going to be space. It's going to be a good rhythm. There's going to be a good exchange. That's kind of what you want to do with music. When you have a discussion with somebody and they don't really listen to what you are saying, they're just talking so that they can hear themselves, That's kind of like the person that will just use one scale to play over all the chords without thinking about what am I doing. The other one is when someone is stating the obvious. Hi, your name is Charl, you've got a Vans hoodie on, you're playing a Paul Reed Smith guitar, the sky is blue, the clouds are white, the grass is green, whatever the case may be, right? That's boring. They're just stating facts. And that's what happens if we just use chord tones all the time, right? But if I say, hey, look at that white cloud, it kind of looks like a Telecaster, don't you think? Yeah, see, if you look at it like this and that. So now I'm actually giving an interesting view on something obvious. Yes, those are the clouds, but check this out. That's my interpretation of that. Silly example, but hopefully it gives you an understanding of how you can use your chord tones to come up with some cool stuff. All right, Pierre. So Pierre is saying here, thanks a lot for the explanations. You're super welcome. And Aaron is saying, can never go wrong with those chord tones. And Aaron's from California, so he says that the bad air quality has allowed him to stay indoors and practice material from Virtual Guitar Skills. Says best material ever and highly recommended. Thank you so much, Aaron. I really appreciate that. And we just released new lessons today, so go and check them out. PDFs and MP3s and awesome sound slice stuff available there, so go and dig into that. And then we've got Rob saying hi from Bristol in the UK. Thanks so much for all the knowledge you're passing on. Are you welcome, Rob? I'm really happy to that you're enjoying that. All right, and then fantastic. Yeah, Aaron, you're super welcome. All right, and Daniel saying thank you. Fantastic. All right, cool guys. So let's move on now. We're going to go to Lionel Chin's question. And Lionel is saying, when dealing with ambient tone swells, what's a good setting for reverb and delay? I think we had more delay in the end. Yeah, so for that one, if you're hearing stuff in the background, sorry, that's the kids going doing their thing. So I've kind of got two delays on my tone here right now. I think what I'll have to do, Lionel, is I will have to do a detailed breakdown, and I can show you the exact tones. I'll do a dedicated video for you like that. Because yeah, it'll be a bit tricky for me just to explain the exact settings, and let me rather go and do a video for you in the academy there, and then you can go and check that out. But basically, pre-delay is awesome. Let me see if I can get that sound real quick. Pre-delay is great when you're using that with a reverb. So that's one thing that not a lot of people know, which is the fact that you can actually use reverb. Sorry, that you can use delay in your reverb. So listen to this. See, I'm playing it and you might even hear the guitar through the mic, but then there's a moment when there's no reverb, and then all of a sudden the reverb kicks in, right? So it's almost like a pad. You would expect you play the pad and then the sound comes, and you play the pad and then the sound comes. So that works very well for reverb on an ambient setting. Alright, so that is what I can tell you on the reverb. And then on the delay, it kind of depends what you want to go for there. Like if I kind of have a sound like this. One's a bit soft, so let's go and get another. Yeah, so. So with your delay, you kind of want to have a fair amount of repeats on that sound, because then that kind of it's going to carry you over into what's going on there. So, but Lionel, that's a deeper question which we'll definitely check out. Mike Irving is asking, he says, Charl, your turn in the video, how to play better lead guitar in church using chord shapes is awesome. Thank you so much. He says, will you tell me which Kemper profile you're using for your clean and dirty tones? And he said if he uses Tone Junkie profiles, he'll purchase them from Tone Junkie. Yeah, so Mike, I responded to your mail today as well. But yeah, this one is from the worship pack, and it is a, let's have a look. Looks like a matchless amp, match split H6, which is the amp model they've got there. And this is from Praises Be Lifted Up. So, and then I don't even fiddle with my Kemper that much. The guys at Tone Junkie, they do such a great job. I just buy the profiles and then I use them. They might even have a cool special going on right now. But so here's my clean sound. And then obviously when you go into the and then as you go on, then they kind of give you more. Alright, so Mike, there you go. That is from the Worship Essentials pack, I believe. So highly recommend it. There's kind of two guys whose Kemper profiles I use when I play non-church stuff. I use Michael Britt and also some Tone Junkie, but for the worship stuff I just Tone Junkie all the way. And you might even get some free stuff from them, and check out what the Suze has made available there, because he knows how to dial in a super cool worship tone. Alright, so we've got Iron Mike Missionary Guitarist saying that you learn your shapes from the Cage system. Yes, 100%. I looked at the Cage system because that's a nice way to kind of map everything out on the guitar. If you shoot me an email with the address on the screen right now, I'll shoot you the shapes over there. And yeah, definitely the Cage system is awesome for that. That's a nice way to kind of it just organizes all the notes in a clear and a concise way. All right, next question. Okay, cool. And yeah, Mike, you had a follow up for the Tone Junkie profiles and for Kemper profiles. Yeah, I'm happy to take you through the Kemper. I can do a dedicated stream for the members, and then I can include more around Lionel's question around the ambient tone swells. All right, and then we have one more question here from Pierre saying, what kind of software do you use to make your backing tracks? So the software that we use is mostly Logic Pro X. I don't actually make the backing tracks myself. I have a good friend who lives in the Netherlands, Lawrence. He's made these tracks that you can hear right now. And Pierre, you're a member of the Academy, so you actually get access to all of those tracks that Lawrence made. There's 240 tracks that you can download in different keys, different tempos, and different progressions. And then Bob, who's our sound engineer here in Jeffreys Bay, he also makes tracks for us, and he also uses Logic Pro. It comes with a lot of pre-built or pre-loaded sounds, etc. So you can do some pretty cool stuff around that. And then Riffman42 says, I would love a lesson on creating or building ambient pads on the guitar. Ambient swells too. Yeah, I can definitely do that. So I think a lot of people had some tone questions. So maybe our next live stream can be a little bit more about tone. By the way, if you head on over to our YouTube channel, you can see not today's or not the video we launched yesterday, but the video before that. Kenan takes you through his pedal board, but I will definitely do some dedicated videos on creating some ambient tones on the guitar. Yeah, they tend to do super well in worship music. All right, so it looks like we've added all of the questions, or we've answered all the questions that have been submitted or pre-submitted in our members area. All right, and let's make sure that I cover them all. All right, cool. Looks like we're good there. So I've got a few more minutes because before I got to hop off to get on a call. So if you have any more questions, feel free to throw them in the comment section. I'm checking everything out on YouTube and Facebook as well as in the members area. All right, cool. Yeah, so let's have a look here. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the new YouTube video that we released yesterday, that basically covered different things along the same vein that we looked at here today. Yeah, and for the most part, when it comes to playing a worship guitar, the less you have to think when you play, the more effective your playing will be. And that kind of might sound a little bit weird, but if you think about it, right, when you are in a service, there's a lot of stuff happening. Of course, there's the songs, there's the parts that you got to play. You might have, if you have a music director, you might have to listen to the music director. You have to look what the worship leader is doing. You have to listen to what the rest of the band is doing. You kind of have to sense what, you know, is going on in the room in terms of like the ebb and the flow of the, you know, the energy, and all of that, and really where things are kind of going, right? So you want to be able to respond to all of those things, and the best way to do that is to not have to think about, okay, where do I play that chord shape again, or where do I find that note again. The less you have to think about those things, and the more you can just do, the better, right? So there's a concept that I heard about when it comes to kind of learning stuff, and there's 4 levels of learning. You get unconscious incompetence. That basically means you don't know what you don't know. And I mean, we all face stuff like that in our lives. There's things that happen and we just don't know what we don't know, right? So that's unconscious incompetence. So for example, a lot of our students that come to us through our channels or do any of our programs at our Worship Guitar Skills Academy, I show them things like 4/2 voicings, which is stuff like this. Right, those are what we call 4/2 voicings. And they didn't really know that those existed, right? So, let's see, I had an interesting sound here. They didn't know that they existed, so that's unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. Then I tell them about, listen, there are these 4/2 voicings that you can use. Now they have they have conscious incompetence. Now they know what they don't know, okay? So that's the 2 levels. Let me type that up for us on the screen. And Iron Mike, missionary guitarist, he's saying he's hearing a lot about the academy. How do you join it? Just shoot me an email at charl@worshipguitarskills.com and I'll let you know all about that and how it works, etc. And yeah, then we are going to be opening it up again to the public in the next, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks. But you are welcome just to give me a shout via email and I can let you know about that, Mike. So let me just put this, whoops, okay. I'm going to just type this up for us in the screen right now because I think it'll help you, a lot of you guys, quite a lot. Okay. And let's see, can I make this bigger? Yes, there we go. Okay. Let's make the screen bigger there. Okay. And when I first learned about this, it was very helpful. Okay, great. We're almost done, and then you guys can take a screenshot or do whatever. And hopefully that's going to kind of give you a sense of what you want to do with your learning, right? All right, and there we go. So let's see if that's going to come up on the screen. Okay, yep, there we go. So those are the 4 levels of learning, okay? We've got unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know, okay? And that basically just means, like I explained to you, I can tell you about a concept or technique or something, but if you don't know how it works and you don't know what it is, you don't even know it exists, right? But if I tell you about it, now you have conscious incompetence. Now you know what you don't know. Okay, the next level is once you've learned that concept, now you've got conscious competence. Now you know what you know. Okay, great. I'm doing chord tones here. I'm doing whatever here, right? So you know what you know. The level that you really want to get to as mastery, which is unconscious competence. You don't know what you know, all right? And the way that works is, that's what I said to you before. You don't really want to think about what you're doing. Of course, there's a process to get to that. But at some point, you just want that stuff to happen automatically, right? On autopilot. So that is what I would recommend for you to do, is go and learn stuff so well that you can forget about it. So you don't know what you know. And that's where you can be doing some cool stuff on your guitar without actually knowing what you're doing. Because you're just doing it automatically. You don't have to think about it. You can just go ahead and just do it, right? So hopefully that's helpful for you guys to kind of understand a little bit more about the whole learning process. And like I've just mentioned here, in the whole journey to learning these things, when you start with shapes and you rely on your muscle memory and your ear to kind of guide you, then that kind of shortcuts the whole process rather than having to learn where to play all of these shapes. All right, guys, so I really hope that that was helpful for you. For any of you guys that want to get access to the tabs and the things that I've just mentioned, or if you want me to tell you about our academy or anything like that, you can just shoot me an email and I'll be able to update you on that. All right, guys, it's been awesome hanging out with you today. Thanks so much for all the questions. Always great to see our members' questions, and then also our subscribers here on YouTube and the people liking us on Facebook. So wherever you find us, Facebook, YouTube, the Academy, the magazine, whatever the case may be, it's always great to see you guys. Thank you so much for your support, and email me at any time. I'd love to hear from you how we can help you improve your worship guitar skills so you can release the sound of worship, your unique sound of worship that God has placed inside of you. And I'll talk about that on another lesson, in just really how do you develop your own unique sound. Because at some point, and if you think about guitar players, we all have the same 12 notes, the same 6 strings, for the most part, the same techniques, the same chords, the same chord progressions. However, when you develop your skills to a certain level and you learn how to use them the right way, you can develop your own unique sound. And some of my favorite guitarists would be people like Joe Satriani or Stevie Ray Vaughan, Derek Trucks, people like that. And they literally have to play just one note, and I will be able to recognize that guitar player. In the same way that if my wife says something, just one word, without me seeing her and hearing her voice, I can know it's her. And the same with my kids, right? It gets the same to be with guitar players. So that is really my main aim, and the aim of us here at Worship Guitar Skills is to help you find and release your unique sound when it comes to worship guitar. Because God has made us all unique and individual, and that's why we all have like our fingerprints, right? It's unique. Somehow no two people have the same fingerprints, and that is the thing that we use to play guitar, the way we use vibrato, the way we phrase stuff. That's why when we talk, we all talk slightly differently. I've got a different accent, and all of that stuff, like your fingerprint, the way you speak, and all those kind of things make up your unique sound. And when you learn how to use the mechanics that make up music, then you can start to use that stuff the right way. So Mike is saying that David Gilmour is one of his favorites. Yeah, David Gilmour is a master guitar player, and that just shows you somebody that doesn't have a ton of technique. Let me just see, are we on the right screen here? Okay. And he's just got a great way of actually using sorry guys, looks like I shared my screen here while we were actually sorry about that, while we were streaming this. So just show you don't have to get it perfect, we just got to get it going, right? As one of my good friends say. So hopefully that's helpful. And Chewy, you're asking how many shapes are there for dyads and triads? That is a great question. And last month in Academy we did something with power chords, which technically is a form of dyads. and we easily had 70 different shapes just for power chords. So it depends how you go. Typically there's only 3 triads. There's a how do you call it, a root position, a first inversion and a second inversion. And but when you start doing it all over the neck and you start playing around with stuff, you end up with hundreds of shapes. But the good news is you don't need to know hundreds of shapes in order to use them well. You just need to have a handful of chords. All right, thank you so much guys for tuning in. It's been awesome hanging. Like I said, have an awesome weekend. Hope you guys are staying safe with everything going on in the world right now. The pandemic, the fires in California, the hurricanes in Florida. Who knows what's going on in all the different parts of the world. But thank God that we can trust him for divine protection, for favor and for grace. And I pray that over all of you guys today. Have an awesome weekend, and I look forward to hanging out with you guys on the next stream. Take it easy guys. Bye bye.